ready to get your shit together? Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello, and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Congratulations on your abundance. I want you to right now look around and notice, feel all of the abundance that exists within your body, around you, above you. Just take notice. We're programmed not to see it. We're programmed to think we're in lack, but it's simply not true. We have so much. So congratulations on your abundance. I am feeling especially abundant right now. I am in the glorious, amazing, incredible Mount Shasta in California, Northern California. It's my first time here. It is epic. This is why I have a different background. And I am here with my legendary family. It's a group of glorious humans that are on a mission to change our frequency and make a difference in the world. And we're doing that. And I literally just hiked a mountain, literally ran up a mountain to Lake Hart, for those of you who know Lake Shasta, and then literally ran back down to be here with you. So my heart's still pumping. So glad to be here. We have a beautiful show. I have the amazing Dr. V here. He is all about optimizing your health and your life. He's energetic and fun. It's going to be great. And we're going to learn too about the 5 love languages and how that can transcend your life. So it's a life hack full show. Stay tuned to the end for mantra magic and meditation moment. Thank you so much for taking your precious time to be here. And for those on the replay, thank you as well. All right, it is now time for Change Your State, Elevate. This is the part of the show where we go from wherever we are to a higher frequency. And Dr. V is here. He's going to do that for us today. How cool is that? So I'm going to bring him on. I'll introduce him more formally in a bit. But here's Dr. V. Dr. V, welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, so a quick little change your state exercise, something called laughter yoga. Laughter yoga is used in clinics everywhere to lift people's state, bring up your endorphins. All you have to do is follow me with a few claps. Now say he, ha, 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 he, ha, 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 he, ha, ha, ha. Take a deep breath in, put your hands up, and then you laugh on the way down. There's another chant I want to teach you. We use childlike laughter and go, very good, very good. Yay! Say it with me. Very good, very good. Yay! Those are 2 chants here. Now I'm going to teach you a couple laughter yoga exercises. If you're joining us, look in front of the screen and you want to just greet the people in front of your screen with a laugh. Greet me with a laugh. I say, and go, ho, ho, ha, 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 ho, ho, ha, 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 ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Hands go up and then laugh on the way down. Now, the next one is called milkshake laughter. You can just follow my hands. Play this out, playful out, be silly. You're gonna put a cup up, go whoop, whoop, pour it down, whoop, chuckle it down with a laugh. Again, whoop, whoop. And say, very good, yay, very good, yay. So that is laughter yoga. It gets you to move, gets you to breathe, gets you to laugh. And whether or not you think I'm funny, it activates your body, shifts your biology, changes your state.
Oh my God, I love it. It's so weird and wonderful. And that's what we do here on Get Your Shit Together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll have you back on in a minute. All right. Wow, that was fun. All right. It is now time to get your shit together. All right. So, as I was thinking about what to share with you today, it became very clear that I was supposed to share about the 5 love languages. A beautiful gentleman, I don't know him personally, but his book has revolutionized my life. It's called The 5 Love Languages, Gary Chapman. And this is going to be really fast and furious, but I hope you're paying attention because I believe this could save marriages. I believe it could save relationships, parent son, parent daughter relationships, any kind of relationship. All right, so I have some slides here. Oh, I'm going to put this up. So this is me in Mount Shasta. So yay. All right, and now we're going to the 5 love languages. Now this is super simplifying. Of course, there's lots of ways that we can love on each other, but if we're going to chunk it down, which is a smart thing to do in order for us to actually make change in our life. So this is what Gary Chapman has come up with the 5 love languages. So we can love each other, and this is in no particular order, through touch, right? And we can love each other through quality time, just beautiful time spent together. We can love each other through acts of service, cleaning the car, washing the dishes, taking the trash out. These are things that we can do that show love and how we receive love, right? We have words of affirmation. I love you. You're amazing. Keep going, right? And then the 5th one is gifts. So by giving gifts, roses, whatever, jewelry, coffee, whatever that is a beautiful thing. So I want you to take a minute right now and ask yourself, what is your number 1 love language? Not the way you love, but the way your love tank gets filled. So if love was a tank, you want to fill it with a fire hose or do you want to fill it with a garden hose? In any relationship, all 5 are beautiful and needed and wanted and appreciated, but there's usually 1, 2, or 3 that are more, highly beneficial and fill the tank faster. So I want you to take a minute right now and ask yourself, which one of these fills my tank the fastest? All right, so notice the first few that come to mind. And then ask yourself, which one is first? Which is your number 1? Understanding this, again, awareness is key. When you have awareness, you can do something about it. Now, the way you give love might be different than the way you receive love. So I want you to take notice of that. Which way do you like to give love? And now I want you to think about someone in your life that you love. And think about what is their number 1 love language? What would fill their tank the fastest? Think about that. Because when we love with intelligence, changes our life. There's this, the common story where a boy grows up and he's saying, my father didn't love me. And his father hears this and says, what? What are you talking about? I don't love you. Like, what? And the boy says, well, you never spent any time with me. So what's his number 1 love language? Quality time. And the father's like, but I gave you all these gifts and I paid for your college and I got you a car and I made sure we went on vacations. Like, what do you mean? And all that mattered to the boy was quality time. And so we're missing the mark We're not loving intelligently. We're not loving with awareness. We're loving the way that we probably like to be loved. But is that really love? If we're not loving people consciously? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Now here's the thing. This information is really important, because with this information, you can love consciously, but you can also consciously withhold love. And I hope you don't use this information against the people that you love. Once you understand what is their love language, what fills them up the fastest, love with all your might. Do that thing. Don't withhold it. Now, here's the other flip side. If someone has been filling your tank with quality time and then all of a sudden they're not, don't make it mean they don't love you. Ask what's going on? Are you okay? Don't be a victim. Take control and say, hey, what's up? This isn't normal. Normally, we're filling each other's tanks. And then the person could go, oh, yeah, sorry, it's been this and that and the other thing. And I'm going to be more conscious. I'm going to love you more consciously. Can you see the ramifications? Think about your sons and daughters. What is their love language? Have you been missing the mark? Ask them. If you don't know what it is, you can ask them and have this conversation. Go to this QR code, go to 5lovelanguage.com. This is their website, Gary Chapman's website. There's a quiz you can take if you're not sure what yours are. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it'll change your life. All right. Oh, back up. Not yet. All right. I'm going to remove this. It is now time to introduce the guest of the week. All right, so we have Dr. Kien Vuu, or Dr. V. He exemplifies resilience, having survived as an infant refugee on a challenging journey to America, overcoming diabetes and high blood pressure. Dr. V now champions optimal health. He is a champion. I've met him in person. He's amazing. Health, happiness, and human potential, making him a sought-after speaker and consultant by Fortune 500 companies, professional sports teams, and associating meetings with all industries. With tenure at UCLA National Institute of Health and Howard Hughes Medical Institute, Dr. V is triple board certified in interventional and diagnostic radiology, as well as anti-aging and regenerative medicine. Founder of Vuu MD, Performance and Longevity, Dr. V advises athletes, executives, celebrities, and organizations toward longevity and peak performance. Dr. V is also the #1 best-selling author of Thrive State, media expert, keynote speaker, and workshop facilitator at prominent events, including engagements with Whole Foods, Bank of America, and JP Morgan. He has also appeared on platforms like ABC, TEDx, The Doctors, and Access Hollywood, empowering others to activate the biology of longevity and human potential within themselves. Put your hands together and welcome Dr. V.
Hey, it is great to be on. I love hearing my introduction that I wrote, spoken by another person. It's great to be on.
It's very impressive, and I didn't want to skip anything because it really speaks a lot to all the work that you've done to be you, and we get to benefit from that right now. So thank you for saying yes to being here.
I appreciate that so much, because I feel like living life and experimenting with what makes us feel good and alive really just brings us back to ourselves. And when we are ourselves and we share that with other people, that just raises the vibration of humanity. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's what we're all about here. So you're right in alignment. As soon as I met you, I was like, yep. So what are you excited about? What are you doing to help people every day?
Well, I wake them up to the beauty of life. You know, I was once a doctor, an MD, trained in traditional medicine, thinking I knew what it took to help people live a long and healthy life. But 7 years ago, I was overweight, diabetic, had high blood pressure, was on several prescription medications, and honestly didn't feel very well at that point. And so that struggle, that obstacle there really led me to a deep dive
myself, of what brings me joy, what brings me happiness. And once I started to follow that, and then also started to treat myself better and how I ate, how I slept, and all these things, that actually reversed all my chronic conditions and biologically made me age backwards as well. So I just want to let people know that they have the power within themselves to heal. And when they just start radiating and remember what a gift it is to be alive, they tap into a life force and an energy and a medicine within themselves that will not only make them live longer, but also have peak performance and share their gifts with others.
Absolutely. We talk a lot here about reprogramming. And how would you recommend people rewire faulty programming that was instilled in them from childhood?
Well, I could say this. I could say, one, having awareness is key. You talk about awareness. And once you have that awareness, you can start making new choices. And what are the things to keep in mind? Well, we'll keep in mind that the struggles in our life have been gifted to us to overcome. So anytime we get triggered into states of anxiety, of fear, of anger, of worry, those negative emotions, it's triggering something within us. And so
Yeah.
we get a chance and an opportunity to look at that. We get a chance to look at the times in life when we're feeling down and depressed and slumped and going, why do I feel this way? What is happening in my life now that's making me feel this way? Are the circumstances in my life making me feel this way? And why is that the case? Because we were brought to this earth to enjoy it. And so when we could start to recognize the things within ourselves that bring down our energy, we can go, wow, why is that the case? What's going to start to elevate that again? And then when we start to do that, we tap into, again, a life force and energy that makes us come alive.
Absolutely. There's a saying that says if you find yourself upset, there's a rule. There's been some kind of rule that you've got that's been crossed, broken. And then you can say, okay, what's happening and what rule do I have that just got broke? And is it a rule that even serves me? Right? Because sometimes we have rules like that shouldn't be, except for we live in Earth school. And this is the way. So, what are some practical strategies that you would recommend? So, when you become aware and you realize, then what? How do you change it?
Well, I have a framework I call the impact framework. And impact starts with I am. And I think in order for us to become the person that we know ourselves to be, we have to be able to define that. And I would say define that when you are in a good state. Define that maybe out in, nature. Define that when you are, to yourself and you want to design who you are, intuitively feel who that is. Are
Mm-hmm.
you generous? Are you loving? Are you caring? All these things, define that, but make that very simple. So think of the three most powerful values to you that define who you are. And then every time you get triggered, you use the P, which is pause.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you have that trigger, if you allow yourself to pause, 10 deep breaths, ground yourself, you can say, why is that trigger? Is it that rule that I had that when X happens, I have to react this way? Usually it's some kind of programming within ourselves that's making us react. And we're able to say, oh, we catch that. Then we go ACT. Well, A is already the awareness that we have.
Okay.
C is choose. What do you choose from? Choose from that I am. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be loving? Then, if that's the case, yes, maybe they brought something that triggered the I'm not enough story that you were telling yourself. But if you
Right.
want to be generous and loving, you choose. And then finally, you take action, which is the T part. When you start to feel that trigger, oh my God, something's coming up in me. Ooh, what is that? Who do I want to be? Who am I? You choose from that place. And that way, every time you get triggered, you can start to rewire yourself into becoming that I am that you know yourself to be.
Woo. Love it. So I noticed when you said that you put your hand on your heart, right?
Yeah.
And we can make choices from our ego or we can make choices from our heart. How do you know the difference? And
Yeah.
how yeah.
Well, how do
Tell
you
me.
know the difference? Well, I would probably say that the ego usually wants to control things. The ego wants to judge, and the
Yeah.
ego puts you in energetic states that kind of pull you down.
Yep.
But when you're from your heart, you're feeling very free. You're very open. You, the energy of you like rises. You drop into states of inspiration, of creativity, and then if you can notice yourself get into those states, that's when you're choosing from your heart. When you're choosing from your head, you're trying to think of what's going to happen next. And you'll notice that the choices made from the ego kind of pull you down. You want to force an outcome, and that's not what we want to do.
No, exactly. So I want to ask you more about how our emotions are, what our thinking creates our emotions, and
Yeah.
then our emotions are how we feel about our
Yeah.
life. And then those emotions, if they're low frequency emotions or dense emotions or whatever, suffering emotions, let's keep it simple, 85% of our physical ailments are based on our emotions, our low frequency emotions. So what can we do to help ourselves with that?
Well, very good. One, you should pick up my book Thrive State, which I talk about all these things. So physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual are all these five pillars. I call the Thrive State Pentad. They're all energetically connected. And so if you notice yourself in a thought pattern and you're focused on things that you can't control, things that you don't have or whatever, it draws you into those emotions. Those emotions are basically stress hormones that raises inflammation in our body, pulls our immune system down, puts us prone to getting chronic symptoms, chronic disease, the physical part. So if you notice all these things are connected, you could actually hack into the system by physical. What can you do? You can sleep better. You could eat better. You could move better. You could also do breath work patterns that put you into different states. You could posture yourself differently, move differently, clap, do laughter yoga. All of a sudden, you change the physical. You could change the emotional. You start to feel better. Guess what? Oh man, new thoughts start to come in that are creative and inspire thoughts, and not these negative loop patterns that you put yourself in. So if you could understand that all of these five things are energetically connected, you can do something in each one of those things to hack the entire system. So if you're
Mm,
feeling in a rut emotionally, you can change your physical state. You can get with a community that is serving and loving, that will lift you up. You can spiritual. What is spiritual? Spiritual is just having purpose. And for me, purpose is simple. Purpose is really just doing what lights you up, because what lights you up is the authentic you. So just be you and share you with the world. Help others being you. And when you serve others, you're giving your body a very profound message. You're telling your body you are safe.
mm.
You're telling your body you're connected. You're telling your body you are loved. And all of a sudden, when you give those messages to your cells, it does what it does best. The human body already knows how to heal.
Yes.
So you're giving it the intelligence to do what it normally does, and that gives you optimal health, longevity, and peak performance. If you are in those emotional states of anger, worry, fear, resentment, anger, those low vibrational emotions, again, you raise the stress hormone cortisol in your body. You also raise all these inflammatory markers. You are then giving your signals that basically a saber-tooth tiger is running after you.
Right.
And so when you give your cells that signal, it basically turns your entire physiology into that of stress and react and danger mode instead of healing and growth mode.
Absolutely. I love this saying because we do say the word shit around here. If you feel shitty, you have shitty thoughts,
Yeah,
right? And having shitty thoughts literally can affect your health. Is
absolutely.
affecting your health. Period. So this is why we do Change Your State Elevate. This is why I do the show, is because it's I think it's the most important thing we can do. What do you think? You're a doctor, triple certified. Is managing our thoughts one of the top things we can do for our
Absolutely.
lives?
Yeah, with those five pillars, I mean, I don't put one pillar over the other thing, but certainly if you find yourself stuck in those negative thought loops, you're playing a program, that is just repeating. You'll notice that, hey, it's those same shitty thoughts you're thinking every single day. And so the same shitty thoughts will lead to the same shitty programming, which leads to the same shitty physiology, which is how I was 6-7 years ago.
Wow. So I want to talk more about that, but can you tell us the 5 pillars again?
Okay, so there's physical, and the major things in physical to know is sleep, nutrition, and movement. Then there's mental, emotional, social, and spiritual.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. It's not one thing. It's never one thing.
Right.
Right. So tell me about where you were. What did you say, 5-6 years ago?
Well, I mean, I was this doctor that was constantly thinking that I needed success outside of myself, enough money in the bank account, a house to show off, a car to show off in order for me to feel worthy. And so I got all those things, and yet physically I wasn't doing very well. And so I was basically a poster child of a famous Dalai Lama quote when he said what he found most interesting about humanities is man, because he would sacrifice his health in order to make money, and then sacrifice his money to recuperate his health. So I was in that place.
Yeah.
And I was running the program of I'm not enough and I'm not worthy. And my entire life was chasing. This energy of stress was just flooding my body. And what do you think happens? Well, I just said, the stress hormone goes up. Your cells think that you're in danger. So it's always prepping for that. So they're not going to function optimally. And depending on what system it hits each person, you're going to get that disease. Cardiovascular system, you get atherosclerosis and heart attacks and strokes. Affects your nervous system, Alzheimer's, dementia. And so that's what brings on disease. And when I started to, do the self-work on myself, I realized, wow, if I started to just change how I was physically by having better sleep, nutrition, and movement, things started to work. I started to feel better because they're all energetically connected. And I started to work on my relationships and how I showed up in relationships, because I never felt like I could be loved for myself. And so I was constantly sabotaging relationships, and that brought the stress hormone in me. And so it's so important, you talk about the 5 love languages of being able to know, number one, that you are loved, but other people, they are loved, but they need a certain way to receive love as well. And so once I started to understand all those things, and I started to make little tiny shifts in each category, I started to notice a shift in my own energy and how it showed up in the world. And wow, when I tapped into that, then it's better than any prescription medications I was taking, because everything just went away.
Can you say that again, please?
How you live your life, particularly in those 5 categories I just laid out, is medicine for you.
Yes. I mean, I didn't know this a little while back. I mean, you go to the doctor, you go get medicine, you take all these drugs, and this is from a doctor, right? So he's saying, check your mind, heal your mind, change your life, change your emotions, change your life. It doesn't mean there's never a space for medicine, but do you have a percentage on how much can be changed by changing your thoughts? Really?
I would probably say if people focused on those 5 categories, those energetic things that I talk about, your chances of getting disease is very low. So most of the diseases that we have out there right now are basically lifestyle diseases that are, basically turning on the stress response in our body. And again, the stress response leads to the inflammatory response, and the inflammatory response is basically the main key driver of disease in our body. And so if we can be more aware of those things, then that's really important. But they all go together, and I can't just say thought alone, because if you're eating an inflammatory diet, you're not sleeping very well, shifting your thoughts in that moment. I would also say that because those physical things are off, you're not going to be able to think very well. And it's going to be harder to shift into better thoughts, if you're not treating your body right in those other categories.
It's totally true. Yeah, no, those things. And thank God it's 5 things. This is not 90 things we have to pay attention to. It's 5 things we have to pay attention to. And with the love language too, it's 5 things. We can do this, people. Like we can focus on those things. So let's talk about the love languages. What's
Sure.
your top love languages?
I
Love
think
language.
mine would probably be physical touch. There's something about authentic physical touch that just makes me feel, I would probably say, safe first before love.
Mm,
But when
mhm.
you do feel safe, then you're open to be able to receive love.
True. I would say touch is probably mine as well. I have 3 that fight for first place. What's your number 2 and 3?
I would also say that quality time is really important to me, as well as words of affirmation. But I almost sort of say them in, somebody should have presence as a as a love language, but you know,
Yeah.
just being present with somebody authentically, like you're there and nothing else is on your mind, your phones are away, and for somebody to just have that conversation with me at that point, that's quality time as well as words of affirmation kind of coming together, um, where you just feel, I don't know, there's an energetic in presence that just makes you feel safe and the ability to feel loved as well.
Right, and I think the important thing to notice here, everyone, is that it isn't right or wrong. Having his love languages in that order is his recipe. It's not right or wrong compared to anyone else. This is how he feels love. We have the same, by the way, and in that exact order. Like if I have to put them in order, it would be touch, quality time, and words.
Yeah.
But they really, like, I can't imagine, like, I all 3 are really important. Acts of service and gifts, I appreciate it, but not the same power
Nope.
as the other 3. But for instance, my son, he really loves gifts. Now, listen carefully because this was my wake up moment. Gifts is my number 5. Like, I almost don't understand it. Like, if someone pays money for a card, I'm like, "Oh my god, they paid money for a card." Like, why are they doing that? I would rather go out for coffee. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
quality time, right? But for my son, gifts really matter. Like when I give him something, he's like, "You're the best mom in the world." Right? And I'm like, okay. I gave him something small. But for him, that's what fills his tank. So I get to love him intelligently. I get to love him consciously by bringing him back things, taking him out to eat, doing whatever I can so that he gets his tank filled. My other son is quality time, right? Which is easier for me because I'm into quality time too,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Let's not just do what's easy. Let's do what actually fills each other's tank. And is it really hard to do gifts when gifts isn't my favorite thing? No. It just means be conscious, right? It's magical. It's so magical. I encourage you to really dive into it and experiment and talk to your family and see if you can't figure out what everybody's love language is and then just everyone practice it and do it. But again, don't turn into victims if someone's not doing it exactly the way you want. Just check in with everyone and say, "Hey, I haven't got a hug lately." And sometimes you can just ask for a hug. I do it all the
Yeah.
time because touch is really important to me. So I'm like, "I need a hug." Anybody for takers, and I get it. I get it. It's beautiful.
Here's a
So,
big virtual hug.
right? Oh, love it. Very cool. What can you give me an example of how knowing and understanding these love languages has changed your life?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm in a relationship now as well, and you know, there are times where I feel like I work so hard for the relationship, and that's because the way my parents showed me love was working hard so that they could provide. And
Mm,
so I would think that as long as I'm trying to work and provide, that is my sign of love.
mm.
Whereas my partner feels, that that love is more received when I'm able to kind of help out in the house a little bit more. And 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 also, these little tiny words of affirmation. Growing up in an Asian family, we never got, good job, I'm proud of you, and you look good or anything like that. So it doesn't come second nature to me. But
Right.
um, being able to just share those little tiny things, and it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't require a lot of energy to be able to do those things, but doing those things, fills up their cup, and all of a sudden, when their cup is filled, both people can show up better in the relationship when the energetics change.
Absolutely. And you can watch it happen in front of your eyes.
Yeah,
Like I
absolutely.
would practice this with, I used to manage a sales room, and I would use this on all of my sales guys and humans. And one guy needs touch, so I'm like, grab him on the shoulder. I'm like, you're doing a great job. And he needed words, so I would do both. And then other people need words, so I'm texting them and telling them how great a job they're doing. And other people, whatever, all the things. I'm bringing keychains back from my trips for other people because they need the gifts. And so I was consciously loving on my people, as conscious as I could, with the fire hose. Because why would you not want to fill the tank up with a fire hose instead of a garden hose? Like, really? Right?
Give it to them.
Right? So you have a gift for the audience. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I put together resources. People come to me and they're like, okay, well, you're in performance and longevity. How do I tap into that? And so I put together like a big chunk of resources. One, because breath work has been so transformative for me. And, just with your breath alone, you can activate states of calm, activate states of clarity, activate states of energy and productivity with different breathwork techniques. And so I included that in with resources for my book, along with an ebook called the Thrive to 105 ebook, as well as lecture notes. Every time I give keynotes, I'm like, oh man, I love that lecture slide. So I put it all together in a free resources people can get at thrivestateBreath.com.
There it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thrive. ThriveStateBreath.com. All right. So if you're listening, take note. If you're there, take a picture and go there, and then tell us about your book.
Well, I actually released a second edition this year. The first edition of my book, Thrive State, was actually teaches you those 5 pillars and what you can do in each one of those pillars to elevate your state. Because if you elevate your state, change your state, that's the messages you give to your cells. And if you want optimal health, longevity, and peak performance, as long as you give your cells the right signals, it's going to give that to you naturally. But, after the pandemic, I was finding, why were some people doing very well versus some other people getting really, really sick? So I looked into that, and it turns out people that are able to control their bioenergetic state were very minimally affected by the virus. I also started to note some different things. Why would some people be given the plan for optimal health not be able to achieve that? Well, I go into what holds people back. These old set of programmings. There's a part of our primitive nervous system called the default mode network that just downloads stuff, from our childhood, from our teachers, from media, from all these things, and downloads things before we're even conscious. So this is how we start to lay down some tracks of how we think, how we feel, how we behave, and that's not us. But as long as we could recognize what that is, we can start to make new changes. And so we go into the biology of the default mode network and how to quiet that down. And I also start mentioning that once we start to change our state, human beings actually have a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth connected to each other energetically. And if we could start to elevate our own state, we start to elevate the state of the people around us. And so when we want to affect our families, our teams, our organizations, elevating our state matters so much. So all those things are new additions to the second edition of my book, Thrive State. And so I invite people to check it out on their own.
ThriveStateBook.com. Get your copy today. Learn how to change your state, how to be in Thrive State, how to change your life, how to change your health, how to help your kids know. Because guess what? We're not taught this, guys. We're not taught this. We're taught to flounder and suffer and be victims, and it's bullshit. And I'm over it. Which is why we're here and why Kien and I do what we do. So tell me, Kien, right before we go, we got a couple minutes left, but what are you most proud of?
Mm, what am I most proud of? You know, there was this one instance that comes to mind. It was my college graduation. I was up there, saying, giving the commencement speech to my college, and then there in the audience were my grandparents who don't speak a lick of English, but they actually fled Vietnam. They were in the Vietnam War where they were shot at.
Wow.
A couple family members put in jail, all these type of things, and they were just sitting down there and they were crying. And I remember how emotional I got, and because they were thinking, "Oh, here we are in this new land after all of our sacrifices, be able to see that, oh, our child there and everybody else around in this foreign country." And they just felt so proud to be there. And it was my proudest moment because, you know, the the sacrifices that we go through, the struggles that we go through, our life is actually the dreams of our ancestors.
Hmm.
And if we can live this life that just fills us up, man, we are really giving homage to the people that has brought us over here. So that was a moment I was super proud of.
Love it. Overcoming, overcoming, overcoming. We got to reprogram ourselves. And I love what you said. It's not you. The program isn't you. The program isn't your fault. It was instilled in you from your childhood, from your government, from your language, from your schooling, from your friends. But it is our responsibility to do something about it once we realize we have some faulty programming. Right? So when you see it in yourself, have grace, have love, have forgiveness for yourself. And when you see it in others, because you will everywhere, have grace and have understanding too that they have programs running that don't serve them either, and they probably don't know that they even have tools to fix it. So be kind, be kind. All right, Kien, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. We're going to have you on at the end, and just so you know, I'm going to ask you a question that says, if you're on top of a mountain, let's say Mount Shasta, and you have the whole world's attention for a few minutes, what would you share with them? All right, so we'll follow up with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you in a minute. All right. Perfect. So right now I'm going to show a brief commercial. It is an amazing machine that I have in my home that I use. It's called the Vibe. It is meant to raise your frequency. And right after that, we have mantra magic and meditation moments. So stay with us. We'll see you in a minute. Awesome. If you are interested in getting one of those yourself, you can scan that QR code up in the front right-hand corner here. You save $111 because you're watching Get Your Shit Together. So congratulations, get your own bed today. It makes a huge difference. All right, it is time for Mantra Magic. All right, mantras. I have a feeling Dr. V has one, so I'm going to ask him that if we have time at the end of the show, what his favorite mantra is. But this is where we have a mantra for the week. You can go to Instagram at Amy Joy Coaching to see it every week and watch the others. And this is a way to get a beautiful loop, beautiful song or tune in a loop that's positive, that changes your thinking, which of course we now know changes our life and how we feel about our life. And so here is the mantra for the week.
Hello everyone, welcome to Mantra Magic. My name is Maria Estali and this is Amy Joy. And today we wrote a song to remember that when we do things with love, we get to see the bigger picture and enjoy the beautiful journey of life. Oh, oh, riding the waves with my love, yeah. Salt in my hair, I am strong, yeah. Looking beyond the horizon, life is a ride to the shore. Oh, oh, riding the waves with my love, yeah. Salt in my hair, I am strong, yeah. Looking beyond the horizon, life is a ride to the shore. Yee. Make today glorious.
All right, there you have it. Life is a ride to the shore. There's waves. Don't be shocked by them. Right? All right, it is now time for meditation moment. All right, this is the time where we take 5 minutes. So grab your kids, grab your grandkids, sit down, get comfortable. I'm going to lead you. If you've never done it before, don't worry. It's easy. If you're a pro at it, you're going to love this. So just take a deep breath in and exhale and make the ah sound. And while we're doing that, I'm going to play the beautiful music by Gary Malkin. You can find his beautiful talents on Gaia TV. He's a multi-Emmy winner composer. He's actually here with me at Mount Shasta. And just notice your breath. Notice the air entering your nose and exiting. Breathe into the bottom of your belly. And observe, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling crappy? Are you feeling happy? Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. Again, awareness is the key. And now notice what thoughts are running through your head. Are they thoughts of the past? Or are they more thoughts of the future? Or are they thoughts of right here, right now? Present moment. Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. And breathe. Now I want you to visualize a flame, a candle burning right in front of your eyes. Notice the golds, the whites, the reds, the oranges. And then slowly slide that candle right into the middle of your head. And watch it flicker there. And with your hands on your heart, I want you to think of one thing that you are so thankful for. May you be so grateful. It brings a smile to your lips. And while you're in this beautiful state, I'm going to send you an energetic activation. You can receive it or not, based on your intention to receive it or not. It is sent with so much love. With a deep breath in and a smile on your face, exhale. One more breath. Beautiful. Well done, well done, well done. Right now, I want you to take inventory of how you feel now in comparison to 5 minutes ago. That's called the Serene Mind practice. You can find it on YouTube if you want to do it throughout the day. Highly recommend it. I learned it from my beautiful spiritual masters, teachers in Eckham. That's the World Center for Enlightenment. And I love it so much. So I'm going to bring Kien back. Here he is. All right. How was that for you?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So beautiful.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what is your answer to, if you were on Mount Shasta and the whole world could hear you and have access to whatever you had to share, and their attention was on you, what would you share?
I would share you, your joy, your passion, your inspiration, your creativity. You are your best medicine.
Say that again.
You, your joy, your passion, your creativity, your magic. You are your best medicine.
Yes. We actually had a mantra a few weeks ago about that. This moment is my medicine, and we are our own medicine. And it's so true. It's so true. We just need awareness. We just need some help. What's your mantra? I know you've got some. Do you have a favorite mantra?
Well, I have one that every time I'm feeling a little bit triggered, I always just hold my hand to my heart. And when I feel the beating of my heart, I know a couple things. I know that I'm safe, that I am loved, and that I'm connected. And whatever is triggering me at the moment, if I remind myself of those three things, I'm good.
Say those three things again for us.
I am safe, I am loved, and I'm connected.
Absolutely. Having lived through so many years of abuse, and running for my life for so many 12 years, right? Well, it was really longer than that, but I didn't know how important safe. I mean, of course I knew I had to find safety, but feeling so unsafe for so many years, it was fascinating to me to actually realize, like, it's really important. Feeling safe is really important. I mean, of course I had to move countries to feel safe. But it really is important that we create that for ourselves, and we pick people to surround ourselves with who help with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So cool.
Absolutely.
Well, go to thrivestatebreath.com and thrivestatebook.com to reach out to Kien and get his book, Learn, Change Your State, Change Your Life. It's amazing. We are done. We're out of time. This goes so fast. Thank you for being here, Kien. Thank you, everyone who's watching and will watch on the replay. I love you. I appreciate you. Remember that together we vibrate higher. We vibrate higher, and that might change. Oh my goodness. Let me start over. Together we vibrate higher, and that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you next week. Mwah. Besos.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.